So here's a following example. We have a very long structure over here, and also carbon atoms which have potential to be carbon number 1. Now A could be carbon number 1, and B could also be carbon number 1, and C could also be carbon number 1. So there's no reason for you to ask me to check the longest chain by going from C to B. That would be senseless because you can't have a branch with a double bond. So even when you consider the longest chain, it will have to include the double bond. So when I'm considering the longest chain, I can go from A and take a turn at D and go to B, or from A to C, which would be a straight chain. So when I go from A and take a turn at D and go to B, how many carbon atoms do I get? I get 7, which is hept, in other words. And now from A to C, I still get 7 carbon atoms, which is hept. Now, which one will I choose between the two? A to C, because it's a straight chain. So in such cases, always take or prefer a straight chain over a chain that has turns. So now that my longest chain goes from A to C, that would make carbon B a branch. And remember, one carbon atom is methyl, so it's a methyl branch. Now pay careful attention to what's going on and consider the points. We've considered the longest chain, our first point, which is from A to C. And the next one is consider the functional group. And like I said before, the convenient side for you will be where you're going to start looking for the functional group. So I'll start from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And once you've considered the functional group, because this point comes before the point where you have to consider the branch, remember to consider means to find the side which is easier or quicker to find the functional group. So the branch you're only going to have to specify, and you will not consider it because you've already considered something else, which is the functional group. Because if you had to consider the functional group and count carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you got to the point where you had to consider the branch, you find that there's a clash because the branch is too close on this side, so now you're going to have to go and start on the other side. So that's why we say once you consider the functional group, the branch you're only going to specify and not consider. So we'll start at carbon C because it's easier for us to get to the double bond, the functional group. So we count 1, 2, 3, and at carbon number 3, what do we have? So at carbon number 3, we have the functional group. And at carbon number 2, what do we have? We have the branch, a methyl branch. And remember, when you write down the name, the branch's name comes first, or it's at the beginning. So when we're writing down, we're going to write 2-methyl. Now we're supposed to write it down as heptene, but since ene is a double bond, we specify it. So when we write it, we'll write 2-methyl hept hyphen 3 hyphen ene, and that would indicate that the double bond are found at carbon number 3. Please make sure that you focus. We're still gonna have fun with this.